So I ain't gonna lie, I always saw myself as one of those I hate going out type people. And then a few weeks ago I went to a function. It was calm, but like I was still kind of like, I don't know if I mess with parties like that. I'd rather be inside and all that. But this Halloween I went to the Freak Fest. Pause. This is the literal flyer. It was called the Freak Fest, nothing actually freaky, you feel me? But if you're watching this and that look familiar, then if you know, you know. So I made up my mind to go to this function, and I was going solo too. Just, you know, going to show up and see what happens. So I put on my calm little Halloween fit, which I was going as Dexter. Now I know a lot of people don't even know who that is, so they didn't even peep that. Probably just like some random, but that was kind of the point. But I put on my fit and I drove over to the spot, which is like 15 minutes away, and I parked at this McDonald's nearby and I walked towards the building. And it was like this warehouse type thing, and there was already a little line getting started, but nothing too crazy because they were gonna start letting people in at 9 p.m. and I was here at like 8:30 something. So I walked up, got in line, and was chilling and thinking to myself, this is calm. Like I'm gonna wait in line, and then when the doors open, we all gonna get in. So I was chilling in line, looking around, you know, trying not to be one of those dudes who just sit on their phone in line. And I was trying to be a human, so I was just looking around at costumes and everything. And I just got out of a relationship like 3 months ago, so I wasn't here for like the huzz like most people. But when I tell you, bro, there was nothing but 5 stars walking around, bro. Like I was literally in shock. Like I knew girls wore some shit for Halloween, but this was different, bro. Like my eyes had aim assist in this John. And I go to a PWI, so on campus I don't really see like that many black people, but here, bro, 85% of the people here were black, so it made it like 10 times better. So I'm standing here in line peeping game on my surroundings, and where I was in line you could like see the door, and I saw they started letting people in. So the line slowly merged into a crowd that was being funneled into 2 lines, one line for people paying at the door and the other line for people who already got their tickets. Now I thought I'm pretty close to the door and like near the front of the line, I would say, so this shouldn't take too long, right? I was very wrong, because it was around like 9:30 p.m. at this point. Take note of this, guys. I'm chilling in the crowd. Everyone is slowly starting to get closer and closer together. Like people went from a few feet away from me to shoulder, and then it turned to ass. Pause. So we were all packed into this mosh pit basically, and we ain't even inside yet, but it was calm for now because I'm about to run down the events that took place outside. So at one point this girl next to me dead passed out, like dropped to the ground, and her man and her friends were picking her up off the ground, and he was like, look at me, you're okay, while holding her face, and she was dead limp, bro. And somebody nearby was like, she gonna throw up. And even in this mosh pit where everyone was literally like ass to ass, like I said, people started backing up around her, forming a little area where she was. I'm like, I'm not about to get thrown up on, hell nah. So people just kind of dispersed around her. I'm just assuming she pre-gamed a little too hard or something, I don't know. And then while chilling, somebody taps me on my shoulder, and I turn, and this dude in a green bodysuit said I look like Che. And this is the craziest thing. This isn't the first time somebody has told me this, bro. And I was like, bro, I've been told that before. And I turned back. And then a little later, the crowd slowly moved a little bit more. And this dude asked me if I had lost my friends or I was riding solo or anything. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm riding solo. And then he was like, you want to rock with me, my boy? And I was like, sure. So my solo mission was now turned into a trio. And bro was telling me about how he's a loud ass dude and he'd be talking to anybody and everybody. And he did. Because while in this crowd, he was just talking to random dudes and girls around us. And I was like, this is exactly what I needed. Because like, I'm a quiet dude when it comes down to it, but when I'm rocking with somebody loud and outgoing and all that, I'm gonna match their energy, you see what I'm saying? So I'm rocking with these bros now, and the mosh pit was literally turning into a war zone, bro. Like there's people pushing other people, which made more people push other people into more people. It was just mad chaotic, right? And at one point there were like these loud ass girls who were behind us, who were either being pushed into me and this one dude or pushing us, but they were just tweaking out behind us, like yelling and screaming, doing the most, right? And I was looking at bro, joking with him like, I'm gonna crash out, bro, I'm gonna crash out. And he's like, I'm right there with you, gang. And this was before the pushing even got bad. Like I thought these girls or whoever was pushing them into us or whatever was happening that was close to us was bad, but I had no clue, bro. So after like 30 minutes of standing and slowly moving as people were let in, I was like now slightly closer to the entrance and this giant mass of people that had formed in front of the door. Like it was a line up until this point. So the bros literally moved through the crowd to the other side at one point on the far left side, and I was like, they said I'm rolling with them, so I followed them to the other side. Now we were kind of close to the entrance. This spot wasn't any better because people were still pushing and we barely made any progress towards getting inside, but I was still chilling. And at one point this girl that was close to me and the bro was like dead on one of the bro's bodies. She was death smashed, bro. Like she was acting and moving a little goofy, and at one point I was zoning out and I turned back and she's trying to throw ass on him. I'm like, what is happening? And then she started talking to the other bro, and he was on a mission that most of the men here were on. He was looking for the huzz, so they started chopping it up. And at one point bro looks at me and he was talking to her and he was like, what do you think of him? And then she looked at me and said he looked good too, and I just looked at gang with that tight shit look, cause she think the whole squad look good. Now cut to a little later, and we had made a little more progress towards getting in to like kind of like the edge of this mass of people on this side, and we could dead see the entrance and the person you had to pay to get in. Now at one point I wasn't paying too much attention, and the next thing I know, both of the bros slipped through, paid, and got in. And I tried to follow, but one of the bouncer ad dudes blocked my path. Now for the next 45 minutes, yes bro, 45 minutes, while the bros were having the time of their life inside, I was trapped outside. And this part is mad boring, so we just gonna speed run the events that weren't. At one point a kid tried to fight one of the bouncers who was like basically in front of me, and the dude was behind me, so after trying to push his way through, crashed out and was grabbing and pushing on this dude while I was in the line of fire. So I had to duck down and like weave his arms, and once I was clear of his wrath, I slipped my way like 2 or 3 people away from him because I didn't want to almost get slammed again. Another fun thing that happened was people were constantly pushing to a point the main dude at the door closed the door and was like, if everyone don't back up and stop pushing, I'm shutting it down. He wasn't shutting shit down, and he was like pointing to the cops behind us like, I'm gonna tell him to shut it down, I'm gonna tell him to shut it down. And then like everybody chilled for like 5 seconds till the doors opened back up, and then everyone started pushing again. And at one point, after standing like 10 feet away from the door for like 30 years and not be able to get in, I slipped past one of the unks and was behind this girl they let through, and they also let me through. I paid and I finally got in. Now, I walked in with one mission in mind, to look for the hut. No, I'm kidding. I was looking for the bros. And then I saw a giant room, loads of people, music blasting, so I was like, they obviously gonna be in there. Now, you'd think at this function being packed and dark as hell, it would make it hard for me to find them, but one of the bros was literally wearing a green bodysuit, so it only took me like 4 minutes of maneuvering between people, and I walked up to them and I was like, yo! And then I got turned as hell, bro, which this whole night was like out of character for me because I was here in this giant mass of people jamming out, and probably one of the only few people in there sober because I don't drink, but I was still having fun, you feel me? Like everything was low-key a vibe, but it did get hot as hell in there because like this is how many people were packed into the room. Like you guys try to find me in this picture. Yeah, there's me, and then there's the bros, and there was this one spot in there like under a vent that got air, so there was literal points where I would dead go over there and just stand under it because it was the only spot in that place that got oxygen. And a good amount of the time I was either with both of the bros, with one of them, while the other was dead on a mission to get some ass thrown on him. So he was in the action getting lit the whole time, and I would have to be walking out of the main room just to chill in other areas. And they had this little area in between the main room and these other areas where they apparently were doing $40 tattoos. Like, I don't even know, bro. That's what I heard, but I ain't seen no $40 tattoo stand. And they had a bar, and then there's a little chill area with these 2 ladies selling expensive ass shit. And at one point, I wanted to drink because I was damn near dehydrated. And bro asked these dudes who walked by how much their Gatorades were, and they said $5. And he said, oh hell no. And I was like, I'm gonna need that. And I swear to God, I got up and went and bought a $5 small Glacier Freeze Gatorade, and I absorbed it in seconds. So watch all the ads in this video, guys, please, please, please. And after some more getting in the mosh pit of doom and watching random girls throw ass on dudes and dead ass, saw multiple bros in the corner of this hoe getting what I can only call private dances. Eventually it was around like 1 a.m. or something, and the lights came on and this shit was wraps, and me and bros left. And I genuinely had a good ass time at this function, which is hella surprising to me because I be inside all the time. So it did took one good function and meeting some chill ass people to change my mind for real. But if you're like me, I would recommend just going to like one function and trying it out on God. And I'm saying, me personally, I'm not gonna like start going to a bunch of functions, but if I were you, coming from a fellow I'd rather stay inside person, I would try it out, bro. Also, last thing I forgot to add, shout out to the dude who recognized me at the function. Like, this literally has never happened before. I've never been recognized in public, and there's a dude in there who watched my video, so shout out to you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. Definitely one of my faves so far, and like the video.